I'm so tired. How much prep did? Oh my god, I forgot. I'm still in this map. My Hayato has gotten. He's gotten so strong. I'm so proud of him. So straight up, you just cannot. If you go on this pass window, okay. This one goes down. And these two follow her when she gets procced. Unless you have flyers or unless you have Reina, you basically just can't use this, can't go through here. Duppy. Welcome back, Adam! Da 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 da. Okay, my mic works. Go get him, champ. No, you're right. No strategizing here. I've been playing on my own time. All my guys are finally promoted. Their stats don't look like garbage. I swear, I'm gonna watch the other vid you sent me soon. Probably today. Yes, sir. It's a good vid. You watch the dialogue one and the conspiracy one? The conspiracy one I think is better.
I see.
Emptiness. Okay. I don't remember exactly how I do this. And I watched it right after you asked me what I thought about it. Yeah, I remember one. I remember. You were like, it's very respectful. Can you hear the game? The game is so loud to me. That's why I keep lowering the audio. I hear everything right now. Okay, good. Ouchies. I don't know if the game is any louder than usual because I'm on my phone while I was on my laptop plus TV combo for the last couple of streams. The TV? Holy. $12. Forgot I should buy the Calamity Gate. Yeah, so I should scroll, so I could scroll while sometimes while listening to you. Oh, the strats, the strats. What's going on over here? It's bullshit, that's what. Oh! Finalmente. Be wary of this guy. So what do you think about the TADC drama? It has evolved so much. Oh no. Oh no's indeed. I have devolved from it. Back to my Twitter arguing self from like over a year ago. Been in a worse mood because of it. Sad to hear, bro. Sad to hear. I remember those days. That was fun seeing your tweets, I'm gonna be honest. I think if you could ever so emotional. You got people treating it like it's the worst thing in the world, and you got other people being defensive about the TDC and being like, it's a nothing burger, it means nothing. Am I, so what are you supposed to do from it? Ignore it? No problem solving skills. You have 3 dragon veins that do the same thing. The fairy characters are unimpeded by forest terrain. Isn't that cute? Motherfucker. I shouldn't feed so many kills to Hayato, but he's too strong and kills everyone. It's kinda hard not to. Truly adorable of those fairies. I saw someone being down today and was unmotivated to go shower. get out, buy necessary utensils, and do something nice. But instead, I got upset over Twitter and let time run by. You've all been there, man. Anybody not level? Not that I need the more damage, but oh shit. This is a very, very uncomfortable position we are in. Let's compare them to Camilla. They have way less speed, luck, 1 point more defense, the same res, 10 points more HP, more like 8. 8 points more luck, 4 points less skill, and the same strengths. They have lunge. Fuck. Everybody get out! We found berries. Can we attack any of you? His levels is too strong. He's levels. Got strategy, chud. Rajad's speed growth is like 45%. Her base is pretty good, but I think she's gonna be stuck around 25. God, I wish I had Azura. But she generates her own EXP. So it's fine leaving her out. That is not a mage. I wouldn't be on anyone's ass if they acted as reasonable as they demand the fandom to be. But some just yell about how awful the fandom is for harassing the VA so extremely well. Most people I saw actually being upset didn't do such things, and then instead see seemingly unaffiliated randoms flinging slurs and I hate and the VAs and anything TDC related has had continuous haters targeting it as so. Also, seeing people were so genuine get accused of awful behavior makes me boil. Yeah. The misattribution fallacy. People think the same groups are behind the same things. Fandom wars are the stupidest thing ever. Cause people there's like a community of like people with like 5 followers yelling at each other, and then the entire fandom rallies behind these 2 people, and it's like, wow, I wonder what it'd like to feel to be them. You're gonna be stitches. So her thing is that she likes clothes. It is fitting. I'm trying to get her to S rank. So cool. She's so cool. Stand ready for my arrival. Uh-oh. Why did I get paired up with you? Oh, she moved up, so now I can't use any of these fucking tiles. Uh-oh. 31 res. Why Haito? Maybe we could bait them into attacking Elboro. You have one res. Fimbulvetter. 20, 23, 25 damage. So you'll do 12. Yep. That's killer. Okay, I would have survived. Ah, look at the pose she's holding.
Ugh, too much work.
That's annoying. Oh, yeah, I got this. I got this. She don't got a lot of range. So Adam, how's life been? I reset my followers and interests on my old account like 3 times from how embarrassed I got from every overly involved and sometimes relatively unnecessary and petty drama, which is why I've been so fairly distant from most of everything with my new account. But the incident got to me because its topic was too close to genuine IRL issues. It's scary, huh? '23, 28. Yeah, I gotta drop this. You have a strong sense of justice. This roar punishes those. Fuck it. Oh, I meant to heal, but it's fine. I actually already did the chapter like 4 times, and I lost all of them. So these are advanced strategies. These are not Shem coming up with on the fly. Believe it or not. I don't fear you, lady. Don't talk to me like Saul Goodman. You are so last season. Just kidding. I love to talk about what's going on in my life, as you asked, but I've just been not doing anything. I really meant it when I said I'm on no grind last stream. When you asked her, I still on the my mecha grind. You know what's an interesting tweet I saw about mecha? The idea that because of video games, people care less about mechanical stuff, and kids don't wonder about that anymore, which is why mecha is less popular. And I think that's a pretty fair point. This is where I lost last stream. I mean last time I played this chapter. Maybe I'm not sure I misunderstood. I understood. The idea is that... Oh shit! The idea is that kids these days play video games, and so they'll have less wonder about how machines work, because they have more wonder about avatar focused things, i.e. video games. So they care more about, you know, general shonen stuff than they would about you know, robots and piloting. People really don't like the idea of piloting things. Yeah, I also got the impression, and I think I understand why people don't like pilots, because I used to think the same. Really? You just dig the robots? You just dig the robots? Why do Onmyojis have low luck? There's a stat total that they pull from, and they change they put the luck into magic. That's fun to think about. Felt much less personal involved, and not much of a measure for a character's strengths. That was supposed to be, well, not strength, but skill. If I pull you, are you guys gonna fuck me? Please don't die, Chuddy. Exact kill. Why the fuck did it do that? Why did the camera swing that way? You're the same level as your dad now? I've been feeding her too many kills. These ladies scare me. I didn't always love mecha. It was a relatively new obsession, though I was always wowed by robots in cartoons. You're completely right about the show of skill is the translation of a character's actions or will into the machine, which is often also an avatar. Hello, what's up, Murdoch? Welcome back. My characters have gone through a crazy training arc. I love the potential units of this game. There are units in this game that just have really weird growth rates and stats and classes. And the game basically is telling you, try and make this work. Like, this guy's gimmick is that he has some of the most insane growth rates. Like, he has great strength and defense and HP, decent skill, luck, speed, and res, and even decent magic. But he starts off as a priest, as a healer, so he can't heal anyone. I mean, he can't damage anyone until he promotes. Let's see. Need a more accurate weapon. Wow, 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 wow. Youch.
My apologies.
My apologies. Now this is the hard part. Well, I highly doubt you get one shot. Oh, I hate these guys so much. Charlotte, you know what you do, Charlotte. Watch this. You're. I want her to say, you're nobody.
Did I do that?
.135 hit rate is kind of crazy. I can think about wanting to pester you about watching SSS Gridman, but I keep remembering my experience and wonder how I could mitigate the potential of you having the same issue. Because action is very different from what average anime enjoyers would like to see. Do you think I'm the average anime enjoyer? But what do you mean like that? Wow. What's the probability of that happening? Raw to high level now. My Keaton is super omega speed screwed. In 10 levels, he's gained 1 point of speed. Since it's based on classic tokusatsu action, the exaggerated but still very unique kinda. I know it's hard to appreciate the action because how many people getting it even. Well, I like things that are different, so you're in luck, kid. Oh, you can just run up and kill her. .85 avoid. Is that not crazy? Where's the hammer? I need a hammer. What are you guys lined up for? Killer lands. Well, ain't that scary. With 33, 11, 44. Actually, 20 plus 105. Yes, 10% hit rate on. Actually, I think he might even have 0. I thought about recommending you like 2 or 3 different tokushow that I personally enjoy watching episodes of, but I made kind of action kind of genuinely get more hype. Because I genuinely get more hype about Gridman action after watching some toku I liked. What's tokusatsu again? 3 defense. need you guys separated. Don't die. Bro. The critting in here. Ay, ay, ay. Steel axe guy. I am not a big fan of you. Fucking 3 damage? Are you fucking kidding me? Only around us. I only mean the first couple episodes of each show, not whole shows. Japanese live action TV shows. A sort of superhero that from Transformers usually does acrobatics. Superhero. Forgot if Power Rangers is in that or not, in that category or not. I forgot you can do this. Holy shit. She's so fun to use. It's all overkill. And you can never keep her on the front lines, but she's just so fun to use. 2318. Okay, that definitely kills. No avoid. So that's like describing that's anime and only speaking about shonen. There are some different categories of toku, but they rely on less on IRL special effects, which is what tokusatsu stands for. The Power Ranger like Super Sentai is tokusatsu. Super Sentai. She loves critting, bro. Why? We sealed him. And now we only do... The fuck? Who knows? Dude. She low-key don't give a fuck. I remember correctly, tokusatsu is either the word or an amalgam of the meaning for practical or general special effects. I see, I see, I see. Actually, you know what? Damn it, I sent it to the convoy. In short, it says Grimman emulates giving guiding costume during duking it out, but exaggerated IRL, guys. People fucking love Gridman. Oh shit. Now that's why we want to do S rank. Look at us, we're pathetic compared to him. We'll never be him, even if we try our hardest. Oh my god, here comes the blowjob brothers, bro. Who wants this EXP piece? Hi, Grega. I know that's not who I think it is.
We can do this.
I know that's not who I think it is. Who kills you? Fuck it. I should have put Camilla there first and traded over the hammer. Gulp. It really was super big in Japan, but it was too cringe for too many people in the West. And it being kind of low energy and run outside of the action didn't help appeal the masses. Low energy. Like Power Rangers was not low energy. They tried to be, but it was still pretty sappy. Dude, apparently you don't get the Beastone Plus until like chapter 24. This game sucks mega doo-doo. You should only be using Camilla. Why? And you can't say because of two very big reasons. Redman isn't just Power Rangers, only really in action. Just isn't Power Rangers, only really in action. Okay. All these other units are lame compared to her. Is there a reason why you believe this? Enlighten me. Maverick. Dez. What happened to Destroyer? You don't like Destroyer anymore? Theodora, I mean. Give me my goddamn Bloom Festival. Shit. Okay, no, we're okay. It tries to depict believable school children. Okay. Camilla should be a Wyvern Lord. Malignant is lame. You know what? You're right. Ooh. fuck the Kodachi. Just for you, Murdoch, we're gonna switch her early. You know why? So that we could use another heart seal to switch her back into good trample. One of these days, I want to run Sorcerer Camilla. Because she looks hot in there. Smash ult stream. I wish. I don't have my Switch. AKA my little brother's Switch. But when I get that Switch too, best believe I'm gonna be fighting all my what's it called? All my chatters. Isn't it crazy how much better all of Wyvern Lord stats are? Lances, we're not gonna use no goddamn axes. Okay. You get one shot. Why? Fuck it. Yeah. It was 50-50. It was 50-50. Okay. I'm pretty sure you don't get one shot. And even if you did, now you can't get hit anymore. Yeah, key time. Trump is great on paper, but doesn't feel that good in practice. What do you mean it doesn't feel that good in practice? Murdoch, you come on here and you just start speaking straight blasphemy. But it's okay, I appreciate it anyways. Kind of unique camera work for anime at least, because it's often what feels like either too far away or too close to the characters when they talk and stuff. So it's not most use apparent early on. I want to see this. I love unique camera work. Ouch. Where are you, bro? Imagine that. Or a stream when. I fucking hate Pokemon. Just kidding. Bro, my 3DS doesn't work anymore, bro. Bro, it's fucked up. I got Yokai Watch 3 on there, bro. Bro, that almost broke my heart. Holy shit, it's Key Time I go. Thank you, Tricky Burrito. You understand. You know, just for you, Tricky Burrito, we're also gonna feed this kill to Keaton. How much damage do you do? 9. $24. 631, 41. Rip no more dinosaur offers on Nintendo Media. Oh, I was winning a spear. You think I'm fucking using a Master Seal this late in the game, Rev? No more dinosaur. Yeah, the range weapon got nerfed in Fates. Alright, the fucking spear. The spear is one range. Wait, why are you saying that, Murdoch? Am I missing a message? I don't remember what I said either. Who wants this kill? I really want to use Mitama, so I think after this chapter, the children join at level 5. The offspring seal goes to level 5, so they're not liabilities. Uh-huh. Keaton's also under low. I mean, this guy. Are you level 5 yet, Keaton? Oh, you are. I meant that throwing weapons can't follow up while also being weak to follow up attacks. I forgot about the latter half of that description, and it was uncomfortable. What kind of PC do you got, Mr. Egrega? I have like a mid-range PC. I don't even remember the brand. No, not Skytech. Some bullshit. 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte. i5, AMD something. All I know is that if I were to try and run this game with HD textures, it would not be great. I can run Red Dead Redemption 2 just fine, but everything else just fucking on Red Dead Redemption 2 on Ultra, I can run it just fine, 60 FPS, but everything else just kind of makes my PC want to kill itself. I don't get it. It would explode.
I'm gonna tear you in half.
I don't think Charlotte has landed a normal hit in the past half hour.
Well, of course.
If Azama and Oboro don't have a support after this, I'm gonna be upsetty spaghetti. It'll explode. Well, the javelin and lower. That's also why I don't like switching Camilla to Ivan Lord. We can actually look stupid in the story cutscenes. The javelin and lower and throwing weapons still have 1 to 2 range. The spear, tomahawk, wakizashi, and battering club are 2 range. And 2 range only. I know, right? Sometimes I forget and it annoys me. Why are we still listening to him? I thought it was obvious he tricked us.
Yeah.
I won't allow it.
I'm not following for you anymore. See, Xander.
Ah! Hey. Huh? No.
No.
Big brother. Yes. No. Huh?
What's the story of this game? I'm not a Fire Emblem error, so I just LARP. People be LARPing Fire Emblem. That's how bad the economy is right now. Instead of choosing either family, you know, like Birthright and Conquest, we choose both of them. And now we're gonna take down the secret kingdom that's been controlling us both.
Yeah.
That's my most hated gimmick. I don't understand what it does for the teams aside from just undercut everything. I just play Warriors and Awakening.
smell a customer.
Disembowel him, please.
Leave.
Honestly, I think Camilla's malignite design is good for fan service and that's nothing else. I think it's good in general. I love the colors. I love her hair. I guess it isn't really part of the malignite. The crown regalia. But it fits with her hair color over the colors of Wyvern Lord. Rest in peace, Orochi. My stupid daughter that I hate. Just my true love, Lucina. This jig cracks kids. Yeah, Reina. We're betting it all on her. Where's the fish? Bro, what? Everyone always forget Lucina's 12 years old. I think even Nintendo forgets. Yeah. Which parallax you got unlocked? They call her a child unit for a reason. Yeah, but most of the other kids are like are supposed to be like late teens, young adult. And Lucina's fucking actually 12. I don't remember why. Isn't she from a different future? I've come to the conclusion that these game stories. Why are you lying, bro? Don't lie to me. Oh, they don't support. Tricky Burrito, what is your profile picture stall? Dude, I think people that have just like PFPs like that are so adorable. I'm sorry, Chicken Burrito, if you're like a 40-year-old gruff man, but like there's like this other guy whose profile picture is just Arthur as a hero, like the overworld sprite. I don't know why, I just think it's so adorable. Like, do you think that's like the coolest thing ever? Yeah. The fuck? I love Azama. Azama, call him out. Fab Godly, humble him. Humble him. Humble him, Fab Godly. Are you taking a nap? Nah, Lord Duppy, good to see you. When the face reveal, bro, I'm not doing that. Never, never. Just know that I'm handsome. Excuse me? Yes? I expect you to learn something every day. Hahaha. Oh, since you seem to know so very little, I know you're handsome, bro. Thank you, bro. Seriously? Bro, I do think it's great that you're trying to learn new things. What? What a strange critter. Don't care. You can make Keaton and Charlie get together, just completely wasting backpacks on each other. Oh. I was wondering if she had any supports where people don't immediately see through her. Give me back my steel axe. Can we use the Dragonstone Plus? See. $25 fucking might. Holy shit. Oh, what can we build now? A Zama statue, don't mind if I do. Dusk Armory. What you got for me? What you got for me?
Welcome.
All the brave weapons. 8,000 gold. Fuck. Maybe I should buy a Brave Alliance. 400 discount? Fuck you. Chris knife. Crescent bow, mini bow, killer blow, blessed blow, shining bow. Genunga gap. Actually, that's probably really good on Miss High Magic over here. Where's Rajat?
Thanks for.
Lucina is one of the first children, so she's probably late teens. I think it's Morgan who is like 12 and from a different universe. But isn't it stated Lucina's from 10 years in the future, and she's 2 years old and can in the world. When I think of you, bro, I think of Chikorita. Why? Oh, wait. Fuck. I'm back. What did I miss? Hey, Gregor said I can be his mod. And that never happened. Bro, you brought back hella memories. I don't even remember what it is about Chikorita, but I remember I used to do something with that. What did I miss? We won the chapter. I have 24 speed. All these weapons are trash. Dude, everybody has 24 speed. What the hell? Except you, Saizo. Even you. No, Charlie, 28. You have 24 speed. I thought Gregor said I could be his mod. Fuck it, I was squirting contest. Let's see who can squirt the farthest. Bro, there's something Chikorita, but only real ones pick Totodile. Wonder's gonna be my prey. Upgrade. Oh, we could have upgraded the rice patty. Do we want Veloria now? Selkie and Saizo. I'm a true mod cell, bro. I was made to serve Gregor. Boy, you ain't shit, boy. Why everybody so sad?
Oh. No.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Huh?
Listen. Yes.
Anthony, huh? Nice name. I don't know about that. Sounds more like anchovies.
Yes.
I see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Huh?
Bro.
Ah! Ugh.
Of course.
Of course you would. I've been ordered to kill every member of your group. Starting with you. After all, you know what they say about cutting off the head. Your friends won't know what to do without you around to lead them. Think you underestimate them, Anthony. You underestimate me too. Now what are you talking about? Like lambs to slaughter. They'll follow me into a trap when I tell them you're missing. Unless I left behind a message for them before we sent out. A message?
Yeah.
I told them that if I didn't return it, it would mean you led me into a trap. That means you never trusted me at all.
I'm so
I
sorry.
wanted to, Anthony. I really did. That's why I'm sad that things have turned out this way. Don't think that means I won't fight you with everything I have, though. The least I can do is in your numbers so that my friends have an easier time. Go dragon mode. Rah! Rah! Ouch. Yeah. Ooh. Takumi.
We're not alone.
Bro, why is he evil, bro? Because that's what that name Anthony does to you. Duppies, you should know by now that we won't leave you fight to fight alone. Yeah, Leo. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
You're safe, my lord, thank goodness.
Everyone.
Everyone. And then he turned into a faceless. Yeah, we can use Azure again. Oh shit, we have a lot of space. Where's Reina? $1922 is still competitive. You know? Where's Shura? 2027? Holy shit. Why the fuck are you level 10? I do not want to use Cannon though. Too bad for Anthony. Anthony is low-key goated though. I don't know why I feel such connection to him. What can you turn into? Oni Chieftain has less strength than Hoshiden Noble. I want to phase out some of the parents with their kids. I think we can do Selkie's paralogue. Bad news.
Wait, wait.
Like we have to anyway because she's gonna die if we keep her here. Lock touch. And watch out, I play rough. We're gonna have Veloria and Saki be best friends with each other. See, this one doesn't allow spaces. This map is fucking hard. But we're stronger now.
Don't worry.
We are stronger now. I don't know about you, but I don't like Berserker as a class in this game. This time's gonna be different. This time for sure. I like Berserker. I think Berserker's fun, but they're not great. I've never really used Arthur Berserker. I feel like he's never really fast enough. Especially since his pair up is usually Effie. Charlotte does the job, but once because she can't stay on the front lines. Berserker's good for like if you really want to like have a juggernaut like Percy, because he'll be pretty fast and tanky and strong. When I'm a Berserker, I mean he's probably better off as Wyvern Lord, but as Berserker he has better offense. Let's give Veloria, and then Selkie, and then maybe we'll get a Sugi. Thresholds, and trap. 40 fucking damage. Shit. I don't have a dancer. I only have one royal. My dragon utility. Archer already has problems facing critical chance, and Berserk only makes it worse. Is that like -5 dodge? Whoa. Seems like we double them.
Hmm?
I just realized without a dancer, we can't even reach the beginning. It's gonna be awkward. Okay. Oh, you only have silver axes? If they're silenced, do you one round them? 35 damage. 87 damage to you. I don't follow up with a steel lance, but with the iron lance. How much damage do I take? 10. Yeah, fuck EXP. We don't care about EXP. Also, Berserker isn't good for a Juggernaut. Low luck and his bad personal skill makes him face crit chance from everything under the sun. You might not want to rush in blindly. Perhaps not. Gonna use the bull axe. I think Oboro's my best frontliner, because I don't know if I can send anyone else except, like, Rinka. 6 defense? Wait, why do you... Oh, you have Dragon Sun equipped. 6 defense, 27. No, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. I don't care about this. For the record, yeah, I know. It's like Smash Bros. Alright.
You'll be all right.
29, 25. Strength, speed, and defense. Good job, Duppy. Look, they can't hurt me. I wish I had a 100% hit rate.
Naturally.
They also reach. I don't even remember how I do this map normally. I just have Azura and then I have them kill this guy on the first turn. Okay. Oh shit. S rank. I don't even remember the last time I got S rank. Guys, I fucked up. Okay, Bull Axe does not in fact work. No, you're supposed to go third.
Divine intervention.
Hey, maybe we're okay? Ouch. Oh shit. Well, I'm surprised he didn't go to overall.
Get it together.
Keaton is actually the GOAT.
Daddy!
Valoria?
This is my favorite unit in the entire game, by the way. Jesus. Actually a good skill. Well fuck, what now? What are your stats? 21, 18, 15, 15, 18, 12. We didn't pass on strength +2. Enemy mothership approaching. We should have passed on strength +2. Now we have to restart the whole map. Yeah, I'm just fucking with you. You could just reclass into Wyvern for it. I don't know. Right, what do we do now? Yep, effectively blocked off. Oh shit, you're alive? Who can reach what? Oh wait, you guys have shove. Oh, you can reach here. You can't fucking... Incredible, really. 22 plus 13. Fuck. Okay. $35 damage. Motherfucker. Wait, I think he legitimately does 0 damage against me. 33 plus supportive. Who the hell can attack here? You? Level 6 plus 7 strength, motherfucker. I peeked in on a power scaling stream from a guy like the video of Trafalgar D. Trafalgar D law soloing all Naruto shipping, and he was getting heated over Naruto character's healing factor getting overrated. It's because they be overrating them, bro. 28 defense, dude. I love you, Valoria. They do just attack. Good to know, good to know, good to know. What was your hit rate, sir? 7? Is the up fruit the most broken one in Pop One Piece? Yeah, at least he was wearing warning in chat to not insult people over power scaling takes. He was just getting a bit loud and heated in tone. Reminds me of when I tried to do that in my anime club and people were getting very, very heated. Like an anime team draft. Some people did not appreciate my my judgment, I will say. Is that literally called the OPOP fruit? The pass is yours to climb. What the fuck? I didn't say before the map? Okay, I need to see this. And then short for operation. And then doctor doing an operation. I didn't save. I don't know why I've developed that habit recently.
I smell a customer.
That's called Surgeon of Death. This isn't Chopper the doctor's fruit.
Leave.
Tony Chopper.
Like rest in peace.
We double the heroes in here. Bet it all. We bet it all. Uh-oh. It's fucking over. We lost all our fish.
Oh,
Huh?
Thank you, Takumi.
time for some.
His backstory is all kinds of messed up. Alba has a whole bunch of super abilities that only really get counted if you're not much faster than the user or how much more Haki, which isn't available to how characters in different shows depending on the rule setup. Apparently, Haki has no rules. That's what I've heard from God damn it, dude. What the fuck is wrong with me? No, I ordered Taco Bell the other day and it got stolen. I was so sad. My fucking rice. You're correct on that.
Don't worry.
He. Of course I am. Scale, motherfucker. I have some vague guidelines, but Oda just refused to elaborate clearly on it. Nobody's really same page for some aspects. Conquest map design is so fucking evil. Like it makes you play fast, and it's so like, you know, it's genius, but it's evil. It's evil genius. I mean, I did not realize how crippled my army would be by fucking silence. So now, you do no damage. You do no damage. Oh my god, I hit you. You do no damage. Now there are some vague guidelines, but Oda just... Okay, I read that already. Yeah, Law's backstory is so messed up. You could name any trope for an MC's tragic backstory, and Law will probably have most of them. Is it Guts level? Is it Guts Berserk level? Yo guys, what kind of food should I order, guys? Seven miles away. Why are all the food so far away? I thought I lived in the city. It gets kind of close to Guts. Not very close, but closer than you might expect. He was abused. Denny's car. Seasoned fries. Cajun seasoning. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Equip skills, where are you? Camilla, what do you get? You get rally defense and then swordbreaker. Incredible skills. Watch out, I play rough. I would think it's smarter if you do this one and then move down to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So why are these close to each other and not these? It's because the map is uneven.
Hmm?
His backstory is brought up in the Dressrosa story arc. Okay, so still barely reach most of them. I mean, I guess. Meow, 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 meow. 14. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We kind of need you to, we kind of need Duppy to go here. We need to crit twice, it's fine.
Stay right there.
Why are you doing 17 damage now? What the fuck? Oh my god, they pop up when you go in. Okay. I feel like we don't have the movement for this. For this strategy. Oh, trample. But I thought they did 13 damage after pair up. Why, even with Garnaginata, why is it 7? Why is it 13? Guess we'll never know. I was gonna try to summarize Law's backstory, but I don't remember it clearly enough to name everything relevant. Are there that many things that happen in it? It's a hard fucking chapter to break through. So we need... Dude, we could have waited out, but the problem is there's this fucking entrap guy here. I think we can feasibly leave Keaton here. How do we kill this guy without incurring the wrath of the demons? I can only remember if Levin's white lead disease, or was it amber lead, and corazón. El corazón. I'll just split up. Whoopsies. Mama Maybach music. Oh well. Um. Alright, time for you to prove yourself again, Caden.
Don't be afraid. Glad I could help. Get it together.
Ay ay ay, bro. What do you do here? Wait, we don't even have staff utility. We only have fucking D rank. Oh, you have D rank too. My parents and everyone he cared about got off from a disease the world government covered up. He got abused, and almost got groomed by a really evil underworld crime lord saved by their brother that was an undercover agent, who also got his own tragic related backstory, have gone around from island to island to find doctors that treat him. But no one did because of the propaganda about disease. The cover blew up. The crime lords are getting caught up. Law got almost killed. The agent put a spell on Law so he'd be quiet while hidden in the chest, and he got to listen to the agent get murked by his crime lord brother. Then go around for years trying to become a doctor to heal himself because he was forced to eat all the up food that would only really work well for a doctor. That was very jumbled for me, and I'm missing like one or two things. Pretty cray. The op crew gave him a disease? Plus 4 speed's pretty cray. Brother! You can't be serious, brother. What? 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 No, the disease was from the ore the town mined. Alright, it's that time of the stream again, where we watch YouTube videos. Sorry to all my Fire Emblem fans, but I'm hungry. Who's got a YouTube video to watch? Adam, I know you have some. I'm looking. What's under here? Almost no names are in English. Will color me surprised. Seek Sam. Trying to like digital circuits is the TDC critique I spoke a couple times of. I don't remember this. Trying to like TADC. 6.2k views. It's a girl in a room. Yep.
Christmas, every pony. Okay, enter your mind palace and imagine this. You are a young person and you're really into clowns. You wear clown makeup and
Oh,
you wear
this one.
clown and jester costume, and maybe you like clowns so much that you have a clown persona on various platforms.
My bad, OG.
Potentially you too. Clown is like your identity, your artistic identity. A new indie show comes out titled The Amazing Digital Circus, and the main character is a little brunette jester girl. So you watch it and you realize that from now on, until another jester character takes the forefront in the public eye, this main character's name is going to be littering your comments whenever you post anything in a jester hat. I love what Digital Circus is doing for the animation scene right now. I love that people are interested in indie animation. I love that major media companies are taking it seriously. And I love that people are willing to support these kinds of things financially to a point without a major corporation needing to back it publicly. I do kind of want a Pomni plush, but it's more because she's a recognizable jester now, and less because she's one of my favorite characters. The truth is that I tried to like Digital Circus wholeheartedly, but I can only...
The My Little Pony earrings are crazy.
My average enjoyment experience for any episode is like tolerance. I'm tolerating the show. So what is my problem? What reservations are stopping me from acquiring a Pomni plush of my own? I have two reservations that I will discuss today. Reservation number one, I'm gonna call it the Zooble problem. Half the time, Zooble is a supportive, loving companion to Gangle, and they'll randomly drop like beautiful insight on enduring neurodivergence and discomfort with oneself. I do genuinely like Zooble and Gangle together as a pairing. They're really, really cute. I liked in episode 7, Gangle reached into that box that Zooble was hiding in, and she just extracted Zubal's head and was like carrying them around for a second, and I thought that was really cute. The other half of the time, like just whenever Kane is around and sometimes Kinger, Zubal is there to over-explain every single joke to the audience by being like, okay, Kane is doing something weird again, alrighty then. Kinda random. And that's in like group settings too. Like when everyone is together, Zubal's primary function is to recount to the viewer precisely what the joke is, whatever joke is happening. There's a scene unintentionally dedicated to this in the beach episode, episode 7. Episode begins, everyone is like standing in a group at some point, and Kane is doing something crazy again. He has the Chinese room, and Zubal's like, he designed a funny bit for this? That's so crazy. Like we didn't know already. And then Kane slides some Chinese characters under the door, and Zubal goes, Kane, you're being so random. Why Chinese? Why is it Chinese? That's so explaining to the audience out loud why what Kane's doing is funny. Like we wouldn't see that it's random and silly otherwise. And then Kane shushes Zubal and is like, Zubal, you're only making the joke take longer. And I know the script meant joke referring to his Chinese room bit in universe, like as the characters were perceiving it, but unintentionally it summarized the viewing experience for the scene.
Jesse Pinkman and the way it was another bit I remember like recently.
The audience has to watch Zubal sarcastically recount whatever crazy thing Kane is doing so that the audience gets what the joke is. But like we would know what the joke is. Like we don't need it explained, we don't need it rehashed to us. Episode 1, Kinger's a little crazy, so he asks Zubal, hey, you didn't experience a game show when you were swallowed by that giant worm, did you? And Zubal is like, no, what are you talking about? And it's like the first time, right? So you don't care. But then it just keeps happening like the rest of the show. Episode 3, Mildenhall Manor. This episode, like, is Kane and Zubal the whole time, so it's an insane episode for this problem. But at the end of their therapy session, Kane zaps away the therapy room, everything starts sliding away, and he's like, quick, act like we weren't having a therapy session. And Zubal goes, okay. Like, in that tone, like, kind of random, but okay. In episode 5, Kane, like, at the beginning, I think, whispers something audibly to Bubble in front of Zubal, in front of everybody, with, like, a mock bid for privacy. And Zubal is like, should I be hearing this? Like, to clarify that Kane's behavior is weird. In that same episode, there's the intermission sequence. It's the only one in the show, so it's new. And Zubal stops it mid-sequence, or really it's just the end of the scene, but Zubal stops it mid-sequence, and they're like, Kane, what are we doing? We're intermissioning? Why? That's so random. Episode 6, Kane does the assuming bit. Assumptions make an ass out of you and Ming. And he's being silly again, because you thought he would say me, and Zubal clarifies this to the audience and goes, Ming? And then the Chris O'Neill cameo walks up and goes, I'm Ming, here's my joke. And Zubal says, you made a whole guy just for that? That's so weird. That's so random. Zubal has been here for years. None of this behavior should be new to them or have any novelty at this point. If anyone, it should be Pomni, who is new here. Pomni should be the one like, oh, that's so weird. That's so random. Kane is so weird because it's all new to her. But instead it's Zubal for some reason. Zubal's personality is supposed to be this unshakable, sarcastic, unbothered icon. But the script debases them constantly by making them be like,
I don't think that's
"Oh,
true.
You're being so weird. You're being so random. He's being Kane. You know this guy. This is average for him. Zubal alone, by doing this, ruins like at least a sixth of the jokes in this show by just pointing out what's happening and being like, this is so weird.
I really don't think any of her characterization is supposed to be that she's unshakable. I don't think any of the TDC characters are anywhere close to having really strong mental fortitude. The closest is fucking Pomni, if anything. I don't. Also, like, I didn't really notice this. Maybe it's because and I usually have a big problem with like calling with like straight men. The straight man in the joke. Can you hear the echo, by the way? but like it was very like I don't think like the way she's like giving the tone and connotation is that she's being like surprised, but she's not surprised. She's frustrated. That's what I took from it. And from what we know, Zubul seems to ignore all of his adventures. So she knows the least about him. She only knows him. I mean, she only sees his antics when he's like explaining stuff. But when it comes to adventures, she leaves out. But I do agree with the idea that, but fairly quiet. I do agree with the idea that she should be reacting slightly differently for how much time she's been in there. We don't know how long she's been in there. We know the other characters have been around for like a year or so. We don't know about Zubul. But her frustration should be less frequent. It should be specifically in those moments where it shouldn't be in like her one-on-one moment, but it should be like when she's trying to like be closer with the other characters. I think she's just ascribing a certain tone to her that I don't think was intended.
Weird. It's so random. Reservation number 2, Jax. We're gonna call it the Jax problem. From Jax's first scene in the show, I knew from the bunny motif and the chosen voice performance that he was pre-designated by Gooseworks to be the tsundere twink with secret baggage. He's always grinning smugly, but that's to mask the pain. And the fandom is gonna draw him with abs and draw him from various age play scenarios. I knew this was gonna happen, and it's so obvious that Jax is Gooseworks' favorite. It was so obvious, and I hated him from scene 1. At MomoCon 2024, there was a digital circus panel. Gooseworks was there, and she got asked who she'd be if she got dropped into the digital circus, and she said Jax. She said a Jax adjacent character. Like, there's literal direct evidence for this bias. Put him in that 2020 maid outfit with the eyeliner. I was like, God, it's so on the nose. It's so
A different issue where I at first didn't like Zubul having a bunch of lesbian stereotypes, but it's whatever. Also put off by Zubul's part in the jokes, but that was just put me not being used to the humor. I was just on my first watch through.
obvious.
Hmm.
He jumped like a cat at the corn. I knew.
I mean, I didn't like her humor, but I didn't have a problem with her.
People on Twitter
Their
were
humor.
like, oh, Jax acts so sarcastic and mean, but really he's a small cinnamon roller. Like Gen Alpha speak for that. You're just feeding us garbage. It's
Cinnamon roll is
Jax
millennial
is a
speak.
pre-digested character. He's tropey. There's no part of his character arc that I think anyone experienced with like watching anime did not see coming. I think Jax's dramatic trippy sequence in episode 7 was intended to be unexpected to the audience. It was supposed to be suddenly profound, like we don't know about this dead friend baggage, and instead I sat there watching it like, God, we could be having more story right now, and we're doing this instead. We're wasting time. And it was new for the
When we start talking about wasting time in art, I have to just like start wondering like what do you watch art for? How is it wasting your time unless you came in here with a specific goal? The goal here being X amount of screen time with a certain character, X event between two characters, because they're playing into a trope, and so you're waiting for them to like hook up, or are you waiting for them to fight, or are you waiting for them, like if that's what you're watching it for, then you have little right to complain about general, storytelling. That's me putting it in a mean way. Damn, this vid has aged much worse than I expected.
show to directly address Jax's baggage instead of just hinting at it. Like, this scene was actually new territory, but it was just so obvious that this is where we were going that by the time
I don't think being predictable is bad. I think there's an idea that things are supposed to be unpredictable. And like I guess that was, like everything just preference, right? But I never understood the idea that something being predictable is bad unless the point is supposed to be like a big mystery. And I don't know if the characters themselves are a mystery as much as the world is supposed to be. It's been like close to 2 months since I last saw it, and I guess I changed my perspective a bunch since. Time flies, bro.
Time we got there, it felt repetitive. Again, even though this was actually the first time we directly addressed it. It appears to me that Jax's character arc is going to be a leading, if not the leading drama in the series finale, and it sucks because I've been over it since it began. What about Pomni? What about the main character, Pomni? Does she have an arc, or is she just gonna be confused and cautiously optimistic the whole time? I don't really think Pomni's gonna have anything because Digital Circus is a show about Jax. This show is for Jax now. In episode 7, we got a Zach Hadel cameo. I don't know how to say his name. Like, it's been pronounced a couple of different ways throughout the course of the Oni plays.
You must develop your characters. You must have redemption arcs. You must. Nah, I'm okay. I'm being an asshole now. I do get Pomni being sidelined, feeling weird when she's set up as the main character, and you kind of tackle the supportive role, especially since all the episodes are kind of meant to focus on one character instead, and we kind of just see it through mainly her eyes, and she supports the characters. But I think very quickly she does stop being the confused type. She's kind of the most accepting of she very quickly comes to accept the world around her, and she just tries being like closer to everyone. That's kind of her quote unquote development. Yeah, that's wild because Pomni did subtly change in attitude and perspective. It's kind of this weird thing where people hate tropes, but they expect characters to develop in ways they expect, in a tropey way, so to speak. This is why this is why I love saying that people hate art. People don't get it. People do hate art. No one likes art the way I do. Yeah. I kind of hate how many of my videos are more or less addressing discourse than they are talking about a show. I should fix that. I say that even though my next video, the Chainsaw Man video, that one's really more about Chainsaw Man discourse and criticisms than it is about my analysis about Chainsaw Man.
Channel history, and I don't really know what was settled on. I saw his cameo coming once we had the Chris O'Neill cameo in the previous episode, and Gooseworks was on an episode.
Oni
Plays.
plays.
I think they must like know each other from Newgrounds, or Gooseworks' previous animation work on YouTube caught their eye. I think they discussed how they met briefly, and I just don't remember. Can I just say briefly, like, I'm sure Twitter has said this already, but I'm not on there. The Zach cameo fish losing his mind over his empty treasure chest, that scene is like an echo of Zach's other cameo character in Has Been Hotel, where he's on like a slot machine and he's like, oh, that was all the money for my hell house. Like, it's an echo of that scene. That's not a complaint, I just think it's funny that he was used for the same scene twice. Anyway, Gooseworks in that Oni Plays episode was actually really, like, pretty charming and funny, like...
I fear it's a mistake to view the show as giving each character a dedicated episode because each character is slowly unfurled in each episode, just in some episodes more or less, but each episode it casts at least a little bit. I think that's true. I think that's very true, Mr. Adam. I think he's absolutely dunked on me and I should kill myself.
Funnier than the humor in Digital Circus lets on. If we're to believe the ending credits of Digital Circus, Gooseworks writes everything. Like, she writes the whole show. So it's just weird, because I kind of feel like I don't see her, like, that charm that much in her own writing. We don't really have, like, that much in-person footage of Gooseworks. The only thing I could find on YouTube was footage of that MomoCon panel that I just talked about. So I watched it because I wanted to get
Cast
a
a
read on
little bit.
her outside of her feature on
And Goose kind of instilled that mistaken perspective because she made a list on Tumblr sharing which episode is about whom.
She just seemed uncomfortable the whole time relative to her disposition on Oni Plays. I think she just wasn't that familiar with the other panelists at the time. Also, she was in front of a massive crowd, so like I don't blame them for being kind of still.
Also made the mistake of many fans to also hold on to that.
On Gooseworks as a person, because there's just kind of no way to know anything about her, and I've never met her in person. Gooseworks made a very successful show, and she 100% deserves it. She deserves this huge fandom and all the respect in the world. She is very talented, and she should get anything she pitches next greenlit, in my opinion. This is a crazy ass thing to say, but Gooseworks, I think, is also very talented at knowing how to design a show to be optimal for forming an internet fandom. And I think that's why a lot of adults were put off by Digital Circus, because a lot of people sensed this immediately. And that's what they mean when they're saying, like, oh, this show feels like Twitter humor. They don't realize what they're actually describing is this show was designed to, like, almost have fandom in jokes, like, built into it, like the way a fandom speaks about characters, like, it's just kind of built into the show. And I don't know if that's, like, objectively bad, but it made it hard for me to watch, because
That I still agree with right now.
like a fan episode of another show that exists.
That I still agree with right now.
And
But yeah.
I just don't know how to feel about it. My ending prediction for Digital Circus,
I think it's fascinating to analyze
everyone actually never existed in the real world.
online culture blending into
By Kane. They have, like,
narrative
memories
stories.
of the macroverse implanted, but none of that was actually real, and they've only actually ever existed within Digital Circus.
Why hating on Raikta was somewhat valid is not valid. I think you missed the point of the Chinese room. The joke has to do with the fact you shouldn't if you want to have an actual discussion with someone, you shouldn't say this. The joke has to do with the fact that the Chinese room is a real-life thought experiment that relates to AI. The idea that Kane is misunderstanding the point of the thought experiment, as it is meant to provide an example of why AI isn't sentient and cannot truly comprehend complex human things like language or emotions, even though humans seem like it can. Dare I say that it is a neat bit of lampshading, especially in an episode where entirely focused around the characters questioning whether or not Abel is a human, and where Kane expresses a desire to be admired by humans. Also, like Kinger's chuckle during this whole scene, as he's the only one that understands the underlying human situation. Everything comes down to subjective taste. I hate to break it to you. This was canonically the last person who got stuck in the circus before Pomni, which may not have been nearly as long ago as you may perceive. I also just like that they are the most inherently... Oh, this is true? Okay. So they're the most inherently hostile human member towards Kane, and that Kane is occasionally just as passive aggressive toward them because of just her ego. Second, Jax is perfectly fine in the character driving the narrative. He's, after all, the most antagonistic of the human. The character then a perfect example of the saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. Who cares? The author chooses who's the most... whatever. Pomni does have a character arc, though. It's pretty evident that she's not only rapidly adjusting to the circus life, but that she's the most well-adjusted of the circus members. She's capable of being empathetic towards others without overlooking the flaws or problems. That's why she beated the crap out of Jax. Should kill this guy. Dude. Poop. TADC feels engineered to create much of an obsessive fandom with its humor and giving not too much of anything till people make fan work of scenes they want to see. Not much of anything beyond what's necessary. And also with Goose giving so many answers to unimportant things and super vague teases about future events. I am. I wonder how many dislikes this has.
Okay, so there's no way to leave. Anyway, if you have any hate comments, I will allow them, but the only rule is that you have to type them in, like, roleplay speak. So, like, type out stutters, like, actually type out a stutter on the keyboard and, like, do a couple of actions in parentheses or asterisks, and I think that'll be good enough. Okay, Merry Christmas, every pony. Bye.
She already has it. Hit the road, Jack. No more, no more. I already disagree with this an egregious thumbnail. I fear I have to go to the bathroom for a while. I can't have my phone with me, sorry. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
Hmm?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. Freaking in trap. And we go super in. Okay, I'm listening on the toilet and embarrassing myself in the dorm because everyone can hear. You're in a dorm? Bam, oh, man. Let's say what I do here. Yeah, but for why? Well, this is useless. Hit the road, Jack. That's kind of the one of the fact that being made of concrete to an extent. Oh. My order was dropped off. I gotta go before it gets robbed. Watch out, guys. No, but for real, why do my bots leave when I get quiet? How do they know? Here they come. That's helpful. What the fuck? Why do they have so much range? I'm a little stupid. You have 30 res. Oh, we're gonna get hit with fireballs. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you also have 18 res? Wow. Approx 3. Oh, we're out of firewall range, doesn't matter.
I'll live. What do you think you're doing?
Time for mercy has passed.
That may or may not be bad. $29 fucking res. Oh, jeez.
Oh?
Azama God, Azama God. Okay. We've thinned them out. Okay. Now back to the good part. Just to let people know that I am in fact playing the game. Pick the road, Jack. Oh shit, they gave me 2 straws. Life is worth living. Never have to worry about anything else ever again. Oh shit, I'm revealing my my YouTube search history. And an extra straw for when they forget to post comics in. Exactly, and it happens pretty often, if you believe. Anyways, what's the next video? Jesse Pinkman? I'm not gonna lie, I have a very snarky reaction to this title, but let's hope the video is good.
The $10 Gotta Have It meal deal. A fresh sandwich with fresh sourdough.
Throughout Breaking Bad, one of the most emotionally devastating plot lines is that of Jesse Pinkman.
Jesse.
And a major part of that devastation lies in his relationship with the children of the show. Quick spoiler warning if you've never seen Breaking Bad or El Camino, I'm going to be discussing both at length. Breaking Bad presents Jesse as a
He looks so young here.
and a protector of innocence. And I don't believe this is because Jesse is some morally upright character. In fact, the show goes out of its way to prove that he isn't. We see that he can be cruel, manipulative, and complicit. What separates Jesse is something else. Jesse sees a piece of himself in all of these innocent characters. In a show as dark and unforgiving as Breaking Bad, Jesse enters the story with a strangely youthful presence. Aloof, impulsive, and misunderstood. You get the impression that he is someone who was never given the tools to grow safely. Someone who was disconnected from his family.
I dig the video.
Slowly funneled down a dark path he didn't fully understand until it was too late.
I dig the thesis, I mean.
Jesse's childhood home was not a nurturing environment. Through his younger brother, we see how perfection is demanded within the household. The children are pushed into achievement, into a very narrow definition of success. And these high standards have a tendency to either force a child into a specific image or break them entirely. For Jesse, they did both. This and the way that he flunked through school explains the deep-seated belief that he has, which is that he is a failure. It also explains why he is constantly seeking approval from father figures.
Dude, that scene in El Camino where he tries to open the safe with his birthday, but they changed it for it to be his brother's birthday. The password. That's crazy.
Like Walter, Mike, and Gus.
The themes, bro.
Also why Walter's constant ridicule devastates Jesse, and the smallest praise fills him with relief. Jesse was taught that love is conditional, that it's earned through performance. And that belief set his course long before he was old enough to recognize it. Some people argue that Jesse chose this life and therefore deserves everything that happens to him. And while that isn't entirely wrong, I don't believe that it captures the full picture. Yes, Jesse is responsible for his actions and their consequences, but what he also is someone who is trapped. Not physically, but mentally, in a cycle of abuse. Walter White is not an anomaly in Jesse's life. He is a direct continuation and escalation of the standards and ill effects of Jesse's upbringing. Walter exploits the same emotional wounds that Jesse grew up with. Extreme praise followed by extreme punishment. One day telling Jesse he's worthless, the next day telling him that he's indispensable too. All of this reinforces the same identity that Jesse has always carried.
Yeah, I had the same impression of Jesse before the video, which is why I got upset at seeing people on Reddit. Jesse is just as bad as Swat, Mike, and without much difference. Like the same way as an addict is a bad person for being an addict is how about a lot of Redditors treat him. I like the statement that he said that he does do evil stuff, but the difference is that Jesse views himself in these people more than Walt and the other ones. Is anyone dead? For Fire Emblem? No. I'm a bit of a coward, so it's not an Iron Man. That being said, someone might die. Actually, you know who is dead, Cosmos? Scarlet.
That he is a kid with no real future. That he's a failure. That's why Jesse gravitates so strongly towards the children of Breaking Bad. With them, he sees a chance to prevent the tragedy that his own life has become. Before it
I'm watching a video right now because I'm eating.
protect something that was never protected in him. And every time that innocence is stripped away in this world, it devastates Jesse. He tries to remain hopeful. He tries to remain optimistic, but the world reminds him, again and again, how cruel it can be. As Jesse becomes more entrenched in the drug trade, he's surrounded by men who harden themselves, men who compartmentalize their crimes, justify their actions, and move on. But Jesse isn't capable of being like these men. He refuses to turn a cheek or accept a world that treats children as leverage, as shields, or as expendable tools. Every major turning point in Jesse's character stems from one of those previously mentioned losses of innocence. So rather than catalog every tragedy that Jesse endures, namely the deaths of Combo, Jane,
Dunkin's $6 meal deal. Get a medium coffee, 6 crispy hash browns, and a bacon, egg, and cheese for $6.
Gail, and Andrea, and also because it would take
If you're a Valor Arc, then you know just how many units you get in the game. A blind Iron Man could actually be feasible. Yes. But right now I'm blind, not blind. I'm playing Lunatic. This is my first time playing Revelations, and I'm playing Lunatic. Now a Lunatic blind Iron Man? I don't know. I have to be very careful. But it's hard getting used to the fucking power level of Revelations units, dude. They did not give no fucks balancing these characters.
way too long to do that. His character's so sad. I want to focus on the children of the show, because I believe that Breaking Bad paints this dynamic for a specific reason. It starts in Season 2, Episode 6, Peekaboo, one of my personal favorite episodes of the show. The episode itself serving as the perfect embodiment of Jesse's core. It opens with him crouched on the sidewalk, playing with a beetle, an innocent little creature, minding its own business. But before long, it's crushed for no reason at all, simply because it was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's no coincidence that this is the same episode where we see Jesse break into a meth-addicted couple's home to recover stolen money. This isn't something that comes easy to Jesse. He struggles to summon the violence required, something that comes naturally to so many others in the show. But upon entering the home, he finds it empty. Empty except for a boy
I forgot what that scene is.
in filth. Jesse lowers his gun.
Isn't that the scene where
Upon entering
Walt
the
kills someone?
that he finds it empty. Empty except for a boy. Abandoned in filth. Jesse lowers his gun, and instead of violence, we see him watch TV, feed, and play with this child. His pure heart takes over. The boy has been neglected, ignored, all due to a drug world that Jesse perpetuates. And after the situation goes wrong later in the episode, Jesse does not abandon the child. Instead, he wraps him up, shields his eyes from the violence, and leaves him safely outside until the police arrive.
You have a good rest of your life, kid.
It is the most hopeful moment involving a child in the entire series. And from here, it only gets darker. In Season 3, we meet Tomas, the younger brother of Jesse's then-girlfriend, Andrea, a boy whose innocence was twisted early, pulled into the drug trade, and
Are you talking about the Spooge episode?
never understand what that meant. Despite Jesse's attempts to intervene, Tomas
No.
is executed by his superiors, discarded like a broken tool, a child with no guidance.
You're talking about
Real choice, a fact that Jesse internalizes deeply, so deeply
Jesse.
that it nearly drives him to murder. And then there's Brock, Andrea's son, the one people probably remember most, a child who becomes a weapon. In Season 4, as a ploy to gain Jesse's allegiance and trust, Walter poisons Brock to manipulate Jesse, convincing him that Gus is responsible. Jesse does not learn the truth about this until much later, but the damage is immediate, and it pushes him to the brink. The last of the...
I don't like when video essays have what the hell have this like emotional tone in their voice. It just I just don't like it.
Is Drew Sharp. At the end of arguably one of the best episodes of this show and of television in general, Dead Freight, we see Drew Sharp, a child on a dirt bike, become a witness to a train robbery committed by our main characters. Instead of finding another solution, Todd, a member of Walter and Jesse's own operation, shoots him dead without hesitation. A little boy who rode his bike a little too far and innocently waved at the wrong adults. What follows is one of the most haunting sequences in
I used to kind of enjoy it, but I also stopped liking really dramatic essays.
a dark, cold room. Adults dismantling a child's bike, a symbol of play, of innocence, destroying it piece by piece, and melting it. This, and all of the other evidence. This moment is a nail in the coffin for just about all of the other adults in the game. But whereas all these other men who are involved are willing to rationalize it and move on, Jesse, on the other hand, cannot live with what they were a part of. He tries to make amends, sending money to Drew Sharp's parents, and when that fails, he throws his money away entirely. And just when he's ready to escape, start over, and move on from this life, he learns the truth. Walter poisoned Brock.
He poisoned a little kid. An 8-year-old boy just because, just as a move. Can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it.
I missed the Breaking Bad
Unforgivable
meme era.
of Walter White in Jesse's eyes. The moment that Jesse realizes his father figure used a child he loves as a pawn, everything collapses. This event marking not only the end of their relationship, but the rapid downfall of the show.
Get $20 off pet meds at Chewy Pharmacy for a limited time only.
I only saw his tail insanely. I saw the beginning of it.
From here on out, Jesse
I didn't even know it was related to Breaking Bad at first.
titular rabid dog. And though Brock survived, this for Jesse is the death of innocence itself. Every neglected, exploited, discarded child in this story is a reflection of Jesse and of the innocence that he can never fully save. It's no accident that Jesse's final arc places him into literal captivity. And it's also no accident that his captor is Todd, the man who murdered Drew Sharp. Todd is Jesse's spiritual shadow, another young man in the game, but where Jesse is all feeling, Todd is empty, soulless. The emotional prison that Jesse endured his entire life becomes physical. He's treated like a misbehaving child, rewarded with pizza and ice cream, spoken to like a dog. Throughout the show, we see Jesse change to become more like his peers. His baggy, colorful clothing that is full of life is slowly replaced with dark colors. His shaggy hair is shaved to symbolize his maturing into a quote-unquote man. He begins to resemble the more sinister men around him. In this way, I find Jesse's character to...
I don't know how I didn't notice that. It's embarrassing. Everyone goes bald. I mean, I thought about it, but I never really put it together like that. I was like, everyone's bald, but I never be like, oh, it's because, because they're all,
extremely fascinating. His cadence, his expressions, his stance all change throughout the show. But the one thing that never can is his heart. It continues to pour through, no matter how deep in he gets. Always feeling the weight of his actions, his building guilt, while Walter constantly absolves himself by justifying his actions.
What I do for my family.
Jesse knows that someone needs to be held accountable for all of the suffering, the lies, and the pain, and he inflicts that penance on himself. When Jesse is alone, without manipulation, without power struggles, we see who he really is. He's an artist. He's a builder. Someone who is truly intelligent. And this is why his suffering hurts so much to watch. I cannot think of a show that made a character suffer as much as Jesse Pinkman. From the comical suffering to the loss that he experiences, to quite literally being tortured. The criminal underworld takes advantage of Jesse and his good heart, and it's just brutal to watch. There's conflicted opinions about El Camino and whether it was a necessary addition post-Breaking Bad. But I believe personally that not only does it make sense, but Jesse's character deserved the new ending they gave.
I don't even being sense including Better Call Saul. Yeah.
Satisfying, with
Pretty obvious, Saul.
the shadow version of himself, denying Walter, and letting all of his rage out. Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould gave him and us the ending that we needed to see. To see him save himself and take control, all on his own terms, acting as the intelligent person that he always was, and making amends with Brock. These were all things we needed to see. It is Jesse's childlike nature that I believe is rewarded in the end. With the fates of all of the other ego-driven, money-hungry, and soulless characters coming to their fitting ends, Jesse's purity and his love of the innocent among us makes him the beating heart of this show. Jesse is given a chance at a new beginning, a clean slate, a new identity. Far away, where no forceful voice berates him, where nobody tells him who he can be, finally breaking free of the life he thought he could never leave. Jesse's character, to me, serves as a beacon of hope for all of the children who...
It's like the Chainsaw Man ending.
...harmful upbringing, trauma, abandonment, who have been dumped aside, manipulated, and abused.
Breaking Bad's critical acclaim saves it from annoying criticisms. Like, it's kind of surprising that you don't really see this show be called torture porn that much, misery porn. Or like at the end of El Camino, you'd imagine. You can imagine that it's like people be like, oh, like how is this supposed to be a happy ending? Now he's alone in Alaska without his family or his friends or anyone. And is this supposed to be a happy ending? Haha, this show is so dumb. But it's in the same way as Denji, where it's like, yeah, Denji ended up in public safety, without with some friends at least. But the bigger idea, like he just said, he's finally free of the main bad external influences. It's not ideal. It's not the epitome of happiness, but it is thematically. Ooh, a scary word there. It's thematic freedom, because he's free of his real source of his lifetime source of misery, which is always the influence of others.
Who have been told that they aren't good enough, or that they would never amount to anything. After all of the suffering that Jesse Pinkman endures, he manages to hold on to his hope. Despite all of the pain and the ridicule, Jesse is finally able to find himself in the end.
Bro. I don't think it should be this simplified, but I get the idea. The idea is there. Were you muted? You were what was I? I didn't know. Maybe my mic was funny. Oh, mis remolinos. I need to see the beginning of this video.
I wanted a trip I'd never forget. The hotel was so beautiful. People, flavors, new experiences. Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Introducing Gatorade Lower Sugar.
Is a masterpiece. Game of the year? Yeah, that's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10 on IGN? Gotta be a masterpiece. Did it make you go, wow, even a single time? Safe to say, it's probably a masterpiece. I'm guilty of this too. I made a PB&J the other day and called it a masterpiece. To be fair, I was right. But when everything is a masterpiece, nothing is. So allow me to overanalyze this imaginary problem by asking a question. If you had to take the thousands of masterpieces we currently...
I'm always down for you rewatching the How to Kill a Time Traveler video of Undertale. Oh yeah. That was a good video.
and reduce them down to the lowest
What was the reason for rewatching it though?
7 games. What would those 7 games be? What games would you consider the 7 true masterpieces? Let's get some ground rules.
Like a
out.
riveting
First up,
sci-fi story.
say, no, this is not just a list of my personal favorite games. That list is on my Patreon, which you can join to help justify spending hundreds of hours on these videos. That's not to say this is some purely objective and perfect list. Believe me, there's plenty of personal bias in here by virtue of me being, well, a human, but I tried to stay as true to my methodology as I could. This task was practically impossible, and it only got more challenging the further down the rabbit hole I went. Eventually, though, I was able to come up with a methodology that feels as close to accurate as I can make it. So let's start there. What exactly is this methodology? How did these games make the list, and what am I prioritizing here? Well, I've done some research on masterpieces and narrowed it down to 7 essential
Bruh.
attributes that make a game a true masterpiece. Think of these less like boxes to check and more like a single large bucket to fill. A game doesn't necessarily require all 7 attributes, it just needs enough of them together to add up and collectively reach a certain threshold. Equally, you'll quickly see that they have a lot of overlap. It's next to impossible for a game to max out one of these without inadvertently bleeding into another category. Okay, the attributes are...
Whenever I switch over, does it switch? No, it doesn't. Peak losses. That reminds me of this question I asked. I'm like, what game do you think you're best at? Like relative to other people. And you said it was Shadow of the Colossus.
As follows. Attribute 1. Influence. The game needs to have some kind of profound level of influence on the rest of the medium. This is often seen through direct imitation or replication like Genshin Impact to Breath of the Wild or Wild Hearts to Monster Hunter. A true masterpiece should have influence so substantial that magically removing the game from the timeline would dramatically alter what the medium looks like today. Attribute 2. Quality. This is probably the most common use of the term. The game needs to have outstanding quality.
These three I can think without much trouble.
A true masterpiece should be a very, very good game. Attribute 3. Uniqueness or novelty. This is a weird one, but the importance of doing something new and exciting really can't be understated. This is where we'll really start to see these attributes blend together, as oftentimes the most unique games also tend to be some of the most influential if they're successful enough. Attribute 4. Timelessness. A masterpiece shouldn't really age all that much. Sure, tech gets better, that's inevitable. Yet a masterpiece from 30 years ago should still be a fun game today. Attribute 5. Impact. While influence is more about copying and taking clear inspiration from something, impact represents some kind of paradigm shift that was directly caused by the release of that game. Pong, for example, has relatively low influence, but arguably the highest impact of any video game by virtue of being the first. Attribute 6. Universality. Anyone from any background should be able to immediately appreciate why this game is special. It's not just for JRPG fans or puzzle game fans. It's something that practically anyone who's ever touched a video game can look at and go, yeah, I can see why people would like
I never liked this definition of masterpiece.
image on screen, basically everyone knows I'm about to beg for subs because I want a cool slab of metal. Finally, attribute 7. Legacy. A game's story, how it was remembered, and how it continues to impact us decades later creates a lasting legacy that only
Immediately?
a masterpiece can have. This is
I don't know.
perhaps the most nebulous of all the attributes. Part of that is because if a game has a truly remarkable legacy, it's probably a result of maxing out at least a few of those
Sounds limiting.
categories.
It
With all
does.
that out of the way,
It
let's
is.
start with the very first game, the one that stars arguably the most iconic character in gaming. So check this out. The year is 1985, and gaming is, for lack of a better word, cooked. At least in North America. Thanks to
Oh my god!
combination of
I don't
studios,
care! I don't fucking care! It's like when you watch a Fire Emblem Awakening video and they always bring up Awakening saved the franchise. Nintendo told them they had to sell 250,000 copies and because of the, like these people like okay.
and a near total lack of quality control, the industry's future was uncertain to say the least.
This is just super cynical of me, but I feel like everyone just wants their chance to tell the story rather than just, you know, say what they're trying to say.
Though, situations like these often leave the door wide open for a new challenger to approach and shake things up, which is exactly what Friendly Plumber was getting ready to do. A company that would become synonymous with gaming was planning their biggest venture yet, one that would catapult them straight to the very top of the industry, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yet this console wouldn't have done nearly as well if it wasn't for the game spearheading its launch, the first of our 7 true masterpieces, Super Mario Bros. Now, if I may ask you for a moment to consider a question that I promise you is relevant.
I think video chapters are made for instances like this here.
I'd like to take a moment to analyze the conventional attractiveness of Mario. Wait, hold on, let me explain. Mario isn't ugly by any means, but he's no Leon S. Kennedy or Samus Aran or Verso or Island Bercelli Major Hulkenberg. He's kinda just a guy. I mean, he's even shorter than his own younger brother. And while he may be the jump man, he doesn't exactly look like he's been working out in the same gym as Leon. That's exactly it though. In an article from 2015, the writer Will Parton brings up this brilliant idea that I think is extremely important when discussing the impact of both this game and especially its main character. Mario is just a guy. The average person might struggle to relate to the walking Greek statue that is Leon S. Kennedy, but Mario is short and a little round, a figure that I'd imagine isn't exactly difficult to measure up to. Equally, he lacks a more complex backstory or deep and intricate motivations and goals.
I thought about this mostly just in the idea that for being a mascot, he's a lot less appealing than like Sonic and Pikachu. Yeah, people like having plushes of him and shit. But when you think about it, like it's just a middle-aged man plumber.
Positive affirmations help keep me grounded.
Is it me or is he explaining it a bit too slow?
Successful. I am talented. I am strong. I'm healing all areas of my life. Love.
At first it was a bit slow, but right now he's at a normal pace.
Pollen allergens don't just float around outside. They're also inside your home. Introduce
From an evil villain. All of this creates something profoundly significant that would shaped one of the most important parts of gaming even 40 years later, an avatar. The original Mario Bros. Showed us that it's possible to take the player on an adventure where they had a character that acted as their avatar in this world. This idea would be expanded upon in the following decades with iconic heroes like Master Chief. You never see the face behind the mask, perhaps because that face is meant to be your own. What I believe was the greatest strength of this game, however, was its genius game design. The first level has been dissected and analyzed endlessly over the past 40 years, but there's good reason for that. The first Goomba teaches you how to jump, these blocks show you that there's a difference between normal blocks and question blocks. They also teach you that small Mario can't break the blocks, but Super Mario can. This pipe is positioned in such a way that the mushroom will bounce off of it, teaching you the physics of this power-up and giving newer players a chance to grab it.
I'm cooked from watching too many videos at 1.25 speed. You are. I'm sorry, Adam.
Without tutorials or guidebooks was so innovative and effective that it's still a crucial part of most great games today. For example, Elden Ring doesn't have a tutorial telling you not to fight every boss you encounter, yet it does have a crazy powerful boss right outside of the starting area, along with a safe spot within running distance. This acts like a way to teach the player that if a boss seems too powerful, they can simply run away. That type of game design comes directly from Mario 1. It was breaking the mold and doing things no one had ever thought to do, and for that reason, it's probably the most influential game on this list. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that avatars wouldn't exist. Nobody would have ever figured out invisible tutorials, or even that the entire medium would have fizzled out in the
I'm just speaking fast, that's why. I said 1.75.
There's no real way to know. What I can tell you, however, is that this one game from close to 50 years ago was so impactful, so world-changing, and so influential that we still clearly see its DNA in games that are released even today. Mario is, at worst, the second or third most iconic character in gaming, and this was his debut title. Nintendo has been one of the largest gaming companies on the planet since the 80s, and still remains a comfortable member of the Big Three. Again, I can't peer into alternate timelines.
I never liked the idea of legacy going into masterpiece, because half the time these games aren't even necessarily by any other metric as good as their modern counterparts. Plus, it just makes a list full of a bunch of old stuff, and it's like very anti-modern, very anti-contemporary. Like, what you learn in no. Shakespeare is considered Shakespeare stuff is considered masterpieces, not just because of how influential they are, but because of how good they are. They are still that good. There is no like datedness to them outside of like having to understand the language. But besides that, like it is beautiful poetry, beautiful structure, complex characters, incredibly timing and lasting themes. Like there is rarely little datedness to them. Whereas most people that like Mario aren't gonna have Super Mario Bros. As their number one. They're gonna have like Mario 64. They're gonna have Super Mario Bros. 3 when they try to do the same things, and for most people's metrics, it just does the same things better. All it has is novelty and influence, and I don't think those are like the most important things. But those are the things that limit things the most when it comes to these type of lists, which is why people go for them. You become knowledgeable. Thank you. Thank you. I like to think so as well. Or wise. I thought you said, yeah. I become university pilled. I think everyone should go to university. I think the fact that the idea that university kills creativity permeated so much as it did is like a complete failure of society.
Let's rewind about 18 months to find our second masterpiece before we leave the 80s.
Why?
Games on this list, this is probably the closest to a pure masterpiece. Tetris, much much like Mario 1, perfectly encapsulates all 7 of those attributes from the start. Influence is obvious. It spawned the entire falling block puzzle genre, which includes insanely popular mobile games like Candy Crush. And on top of that, it's one of the most timeless games ever made. Despite releasing in 1984, the game was so fundamentally sound that it hasn't really aged a day.
This makes
While
sense.
It wasn't the very first video game ever made, its level of complexity and the ceiling for skill in such a simple package rivals games from the modern era. Crucially, that simple package allows it to be understood, appreciated, and enjoyed.
At this point, just put Pong. It's so recognizable. It created the idea of player 1 and player 2. It created the idea of back and forth and movement and blah 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 blah. That's why this is fucking stupid.
By practically anyone. My boss at my old job.
You just don't. If you don't think it's that influential, you don't analyze it enough. Simple ass.
Tetris. I've played Tetris, and so have you. It's the very definition of universality in gaming. I mean, really think about it. What do you need to play Tetris? First, you need an understanding of gravity, and since no humans have been born in space, as far as we know, congrats, you have that. You need to understand that when you press left, the block goes left, and when you press right, it goes right. Depending on the setup, there may be as few as 3 buttons, so that's not really going to take long to figure out. Finally, you need to know how shapes fit together. That's it. That's literally it. I'm confident that if you went back in time a few hundred years and gave a child a Game Boy with Tetris, they'd be clearing rows in less than 90 seconds. If aliens showed up tomorrow and went, show me what a video game is for, some reason, you could safely give them Tetris and they'd probably get it. Most telling of all of this, though, is the fact that despite being created in 1983, nearly the exact same game is still being sold successfully today. Fortnite has had a generational run going on over 8 years of global dominance. People have been playing Tetris for over 40. If that's not timeless, I'm honestly not sure what else could be.
Baby's first year is all about their brain. So choose our brainy formula.
He's about to put in a crazy twist.
Next, let's move on to one that might be a bit more controversial. However, I think as we delve deeper into this game, you'll start to see just how monumental it was, and really still is. If you were born between here and here, I'm willing to bet that one of the first video games you ever played was the first generation of Pokemon, Red and Blue. If Mario showed what video games themselves were capable of, Pokemon demonstrated this medium's ability to expand far beyond its home in the digital world. The games were novel and revolutionary in their own right, being the grandfather of the monster catcher genre. While not technically the very first, it was the one that made
Actually, that the creator was Wizardry, and the actual grandfather, the one that is very much what we have the modern formula, is in fact Megami Tensei. RD movie as video essay. You Wizardry. Of course I do.
The first generation was also the very beginning of one of the largest series in gaming. It influenced endless copycats and developers trying to improve upon that original formula. And yet, if all Pokemon had going for it was a solid RPG from the 90s, it wouldn't be on this list. In fact, while Red and Blue were revolutionary at the time, you'd be crazy to look at the decades of monster catchers we've gotten since and claim that not a single one accomplished what Pokemon did at a higher level. What makes these games truly special is that they were the origin point of the largest media franchise in history. Plushies, card games, TV series, movies, endless...
Is this really a worthwhile fucking metric for Masterpiece? You know what? I'm being too negative.
Pokemon centers dedicated to these games and their countless characters. Red and Blue were so impactful, so culturally significant that they had and still do have a clear effect on the real world. Think about it like this. If there's a form of media or entertainment that you want to consume, or even simply a thing you wish to buy, you can probably do so.
We are fucking slaves of capitalism and influence how we view art.
These games proved that if you create a game that's good enough and you market it in the
Not just popularity, fucking financial success, commercial.
anywhere, and Pokemon chose to grow it everywhere, making Red and Blue. Gold and Silver then took those lessons learned from Red and Blue and made all of the natural improvements to refine these games even further.
What's going on with the glitches? I need to know. I need to know. He's gonna hashtag server and my expectations.
Super boss in RPG history. In practically every way, Gold and Silver are just purely better video games than their predecessors. Yes, Red and Blue came first, but it feels a bit strange to give the title to a game that, while iconic, simply isn't as good as... I think we'll go with this one. That should be right. Yeah, that should be right. All of the games we've covered have been 2D, but I think it's about time we move on to the third dimension. Contrary to popular belief, there were actually plenty of 3D games back in the 90s. As is often the case, the games that get labeled the first, or the ones that revolutionized the medium, aren't really the first ones to do it. It would instead be more accurate to call them the first ones to do it well and at a scale that hadn't been seen before. At the time, I'm not sure there was a single game that accomplished the goal of a 3D adventure better than the next entry on our list. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This is a game that often tops greatest games of all time lists, and justifiably so.
I think I'm gonna get my expectations subverted. I think I'm gonna have my video essay deconstructed.
System that we still use today. It's really hard to appreciate just how incredible that is. I mean, try to think about the countless tools, techniques, and technological advances this medium has made in the 27 years since this game's release. Despite all of those advancements, we still don't really have a better camera solution for third-person 3D games than this one from nearly 3 decades ago. This one game laid the groundwork for cameras that would be used in everything from Dark Souls to Bayonetta to Dynasty Warriors to basically any third-person 3D action game you can think of. That level of influence is exceedingly rare, but the level of quality in this game is arguably even more impressive. The game is basically the quintessential hero's journey. It takes this weird outcast kid who acts like a bit of a blank slate, much like Mario from the 80s, sends him into a tree, and then gives him a prophecy to save the world. He's then told to leave the forest he's called home for his whole life, and after spending about an hour or two in this maze of tightly packed trees and claustrophobic caves, you finally make your way out and are met with this.
Holy.
I cannot begin to imagine how this must have felt at the time. I'm sure you remember your first moment like this from a video game. If you're around my age, maybe it was Skyrim. You exited that cave at the start of the game, adrenaline finally leaving your system after the dragon attack, and in front of you lay a scene straight out of a painting. Endless peaks dotting the horizon, along with the knowledge that each of those
I hate seeing gameplay from the Switch online emulators. Because the ugly border.
Get the membership that backs the future you're building. The Business Platinum Card from American Express.
Yeah, the border.
Maybe it should have been Skyrim. Yet I can't help but wonder what it must have been like for those players back in the 90s. Players who had grown so accustomed to games that looked like this, or this. Players who had merely seen flashes of what a 3D world could look like. At a time where worlds like these were practically non-existent, Ocarina of Time might have been the very best. More than anything, it's that contrast, that difference between what was then and what is now, that makes Ocarina of Time a true masterpiece. When I think of the word revolutionary in reference to video games, no game comes to mind faster than Final Fantasy VII. At the time, it was the most expensive game ever made, costing an estimated $45 million to develop and another $100 million for marketing. That number wasn't just for show either. Final Fantasy VII completely redefined the JRPG genre.
Redefined.
Why it's as popular as it is today, especially in the West. The brilliant use of both 3D models and pre-rendered backgrounds to display these larger-than-life vistas made Alice a world that felt more grandiose and extraordinary than anything anyone had ever seen before. Final Fantasy VII showed
And because it reminds me of the service so much to really dislike.
Games didn't have to be mere pixels on the screen. They could look and feel like movies or larger, more cinematic productions. Simply compare this to the Mario games from barely over a decade prior, and you can really start to get a sense of the scale here. To put this gap into perspective, if you were born in 1980, you could have played Super Mario Bros. In elementary school, and this in college. It wasn't merely reinventing the medium as a whole, though. On a smaller level, it was totally changing JRPGs, and of course, its own series. It was the first fully 3D Final Fantasy game with these unbelievable animations and cutscenes, both of which it utilized to their fullest potential to tell one of the most iconic stories in gaming, one that still feels relevant even today. While games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI effectively mastered the genre and what it could offer with the technology available back then, Final Fantasy VII acted as that next major step, a generational leap
Goblins bar.
into what the future could look like for this. Final Fantasy VII and the characters from it remain the most recognizable in the series by far. Cloud is effectively the poster boy of Final Fantasy, even going as far as representing it in Smash Bros. And when they thought to add another Final Fantasy character to that series, did they add the main character of 10? Final Fantasy VI? Maybe 1? Nope, they added Sephiroth.
Because they suck!
Final Fantasy VII character. Despite being created nearly 2 decades ago,
Even though I like Sephiroth.
characters in the series, and it's all because of Final Fantasy VII's success. This game is the very definition of impact and legacy, and for that reason, we'll consider it our fourth true masterpiece. No, that's not right either. Okay, let's try this. All the
Julio?
games we've covered so far have prioritized impact and influence over practically anything else. So for number 4 on our list, I wanted to take a look at a game that acts like the pinnacle of the genre, a game that stands at the absolute peak of quality. Granted, I'm not saying this game is perfect.
He's self-aware, Adam. Adam, he's self-aware. Adam.
But as of today, it might be the best open world game of all time.
Popularized will be more adequate. Reference to Xenoblade, reference to metaphor, and what else?
This feeling, but sometimes, rarely, I'll be playing a game and almost start excitedly laughing like a child. That excitement comes from the conflict act of
I do think Elden Ring is the best open world game, and it's still not good enough.
occurring in my head as I play the game. One half of me, the pragmatic half, is going, listen, we know how good games are able to be, and we know they almost all stumble at some point. Those 1 in a million games do exist, but statistically speaking, this probably isn't one of them. So just enjoy it for what it is and keep your expectations in check. While the other half is going, okay, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Limgrave is probably just 40 to 50% of the map, and holy shit. It's this feeling of there's no possible way the game can keep doing this. It doesn't make sense. How does a game have an open world this big while still keeping it as dense as it is, with massive dungeons, some of which you don't even have to complete to beat the game,
Via repetition.
and combat that's also some of the best in the industry? That's not supposed to be possible, yet somehow they did manage to pull it off, and it's because Elden Ring is almost like a culmination of everything we've learned about open worlds.
I heard that wrong opinion before somewhere else. Hopefully for me.
Said in an interview that he learned from Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Oblivion, and Witcher 3. They studied everything that made these games great, scrutinized and addressed their shortcomings, and did what every great game has done over the past 50 years. Evolved the medium and pushed it forward. Much like many of the greats before it, Elden Ring likely won't be the greatest open world game of all time forever. I mean, Miyazaki himself said that Elden Ring isn't his ideal fantasy RPG. It's close, but he knows they can do better, and I'm sure in time, the team at FromSoft will. When they do though, what does that mean for Elden Ring? What does it mean for Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Oblivion, Ocarina of Time? What does it mean for any game that has since been improved upon and evolved? Imagine a world in which Miyazaki does create his ideal fantasy RPG. Let's say it's another open world like Elden Ring. Is Elden Ring no longer one of the 7 true masterpieces? By that logic, should Mario 1 be on this list when Mario World exists? I'm honestly not sure.
When life gives you
Fable King, I assume? Like, he does something similar, I think, but his videos were mostly nonsense. And then evolved even further by dipping into an HJW rhetoric. Bro.
Eat it like you own it.
So I'm at this race in Miami, and I see this guy near me who looks familiar. Then I'm at the Garden in New York at a basketball game, and
Can I ask you a seemingly straightforward question that has no real answer? When humanity is long gone and aliens stumble across our planet, they'll likely categorize all of our trinkets, odds and ends, those sorts of things. But when they reach the video game section, what do you think they'll consider more important? The very first game humanity made, or the very last? This question is almost a bit of a paradox. If you ask me, I'd say the last game is infinitely more important, especially if it was the last truly great game and not just some shovelware that an AI threw out at the last second before shutting down. A game like that would be able to say so much through its sheer existence alone. Every choice it makes would be a statement on what we valued at the very end. What kind of mark we wanted to leave behind, what we wanted the future to know about us, who we were. The last game undeniably says far more about the medium and our civilization as a whole. Yet the first game is the very reason the last game is even able to exist. Sure, Pong isn't some grand philosophical statement about a species in their final moments, but it is the starting point, the necessary first domino that had to fall. To be honest with you, this paradox drove me crazy when trying to put together this list. Balancing legacy and quality feels next to impossible. I'd go to bed one night with my completed list of 7, wake up the next day, look at it, and go, yeah, no, at least half of this is wrong. We have to go back to the drawing board. Then I'd try again, and again, and again, and finally I'd get a finished script. Yet almost the very instant I hit enter on that last line of the 7th entry, it all felt wrong. I think I finally understand why though, along with how to finally get it right. See, there are two reasons. First off, the simple reason is the sheer complexity of the task. This list has a mere 7 entries, but I'm fully confident that if we gathered up 500 people and asked them all to list their 7 and throw them in a hat, we'd have well over 100 different games. For each Tetris or World of Warcraft, we'd have a Link to the Past or Halo 2. Then there are the chronological issues. If Mario 1 came out today, it would objectively be less impressive than it was in 1983, because back then, there were only a handful of 2D platformers, and the technology used to create them pales in comparison to the computers of the modern day. Even if, somehow, we could magically compress the entire timeline and
The possibility of the last game being AI generated makes the first game so much valuable to humanity's history, I think.
make it so every single
Good point.
candidate for this list had the exact same release date, we'd still have dozens of potential contenders. Equally, it doesn't seem particularly reasonable to judge a game independent of the context of its release, especially when works of art are a direct result of the world around them. This isn't even taking into account subjectivity either. I sincerely believe there are at least 50 different games that you could make a pretty strong argument for here on a purely objective basis. Measurable things like the first game to implement a revolutionary idea or the most popular game of all time by player count. When you consider the inherent subjectivity of the medium though, this goes from profoundly difficult to completely impossible. There does exist a list that I could throw on screen right now that you would look at and go, yeah, that's correct, those are the 7 most important games ever made. You could then pause the video, grab your roommate or family member or whoever's closest to you, show them the screen, and watch as they go, are you out of your mind? That is obviously wrong. All of this is the first half of why this question has stumped me as much as it has. But the second half, funny enough, is what finally allowed me to complete the list. The term masterpiece isn't a measurement. Try to think back to the last time you called a game a masterpiece. Do you remember exactly why you did it? For me, it was Shadow of the Colossus. As I watched the final sequence of the game play out and I stood in awe as the credits scrolled across the screen, I couldn't help but think, that was it. That was a masterpiece. I didn't think that because the game reached some arbitrary level where it suddenly crossed some invisible line from great game to masterpiece. It wasn't like a kilometer where it goes from 998 meters to 1002 and we suddenly go, yup, that's it, it passed the threshold. No, it's more like an exclamation point. Like the last dunk in a basketball game that's already over, or the final song at a wedding just before everyone goes home. In a wonderful video from the channel The Art Assignment, the creator Sarah Urist Green says in regards to masterpieces, we're talking about what we want the future to know about the present. And I think that's exactly it. That's the key. When you call something a masterpiece, it's almost like you're saying, this is how I want to remember it. This deserves to be remembered. This idea is what convinced me that I needed not 1 list, but 2. I know I promised I'd give you a list of 7 games, and don't worry, I still will. However, and this may come as a shock to you, I actually haven't played every single video game ever made. Because of this fact, I wanted to make 1 list of the games that I feel, based on both my research and my initial criteria, are as close to objective as I can get. These are the 7 games that I think are the most important for the history of the medium, the 7 true masterpieces. Yet I also wanted to make my own personal list. A list of games that I thought deserved that exclamation point, that defining label, games I thought deserved to be remembered. I'll throw this second list on screen at the end and make a full video about it on Patreon. With that in mind, let's finally take a look at the 7 true masterpieces. List 1, in chronological order, is as follows. Tetris. As previously stated, it's about as close to a pure
Outer Wilds
masterpiece as I
music.
can get, so I'm pretty confident placing it here. Super Mario Bros. Again, same reasons as before, I won't spend too much time on it. Third will be Doom 1993. Not only is it one of the first 3D games ever made, but it also revolutionized FPSs and shooters in general, a genre that would go on to become one of the most popular and arguably most profitable on the planet. Although that profit thing does depend on mostly semantic factors that I don't think you want to hear about. Our 4th game is going to be Pokemon Red and Blue. The impact these games had on the industry, and more importantly, outside of it, is simply too great for me to play.
Funnily enough, I found an ER challenge runner that made a long essay of bad ER critics, and he seemed reasonable mostly, though more aggressive than I thought reasonable, and gave me 1 red flag. Then he made a video on the newest Silent Hill game, talking the same way anti-SJW guys will by dismissing storytelling experiences they couldn't understand. Now you see.
Number 5 is Ocarina of Time. It was both the pioneer of 3D cameras and action games with the retargeting system, a system that's still used in most third-person 3D action games today, and the blueprint for decades
Goes to show that everyone that likes Elden Ring is evil.
of future third-person 3D action games. Games from Okami to Dark Souls to even Elden Ring were all either directly or indirectly inspired by Ocarina of Time. At number 6,
Fuck Ocarina of Time.
World of Warcraft, for being the game that brought
And
MMOs
fuck World of Warcraft 2.
The biggest games on the planet today are MMOs.
These are mine.
Like Final Fantasy XIV or Elder Scrolls Online. On top of this, its cultural impact is up up there with things like Pokemon and our final entry, number 7, the last masterpiece, Minecraft. The highest selling video game of all
Fuck
time,
Minecraft.
much like Pokemon Red and Blue and World of Warcraft before it, dramatically
Every one of them are chuds.
and a game that's seen continued dominance for over a decade now, with no sign of slowing down anytime soon. And that's as close as I can get to an objective list of 7. It's not perfect, and even I have some problems with it. Among other things, I feel it prioritizes influence a bit too much, leading to a total lack of more modern games like simply haven't had enough time to generate the kind of legacy or influence that older games like Doom or Ocarina of Time have. That said, if the aliens showed up tomorrow and asked for a list, this is the one I'm giving them. So with that impossible task finally completed, and with everything we've gone over in mind, allow me to ask you one final question. A true masterpiece is a game
Bro, oh my god, bro. We are in an apocalypse of Redditors. Goodbye, Echo. I no longer need you. Dark Souls, Outer Wilds, Undertale. Fuck it. Fuck it right now. Put Earthbound. I'm trying to balance favorites and the abstract idea of universal masterpiece. I think Earthbound is up there. Hearing your echo say bro was so funny. What did I say then? Oh. Dude, it's like Alzheimer's, dude. It's like the back rooms, dude. I'm low-key repeating. You know, I'm gonna put a game. I'm gonna put a game I LARP in here. One, two, three, four, five. Oh shit, we're already at 5. Fuck, man, I don't play no games. Prince of Persia, 9 Souls. I'm not putting Elden Ring up there. What would I put in there? Good point. Shadow of the Colossus. I have no good idea. No, I like Shadow of the Colossus. It's like my memory's not strong of it, but I rewatch the streams a lot. And you know what? I'm gonna be even more self-indulgent. Ooh, this one's. That's humor. I may sound Reddit, but maybe Bloodborne. That's not Reddit. No, it is Reddit, but it's a Reddit gem. All right. If you want to send me your list, feel free to send on Discord. I have to get ready for class. Goodbye.